Hello guys, my name is Tushar and I'm starting a new series called AWS Practical Guide. In this series, I'll teach you step by step how to set up a complete VPS environment in AWS. But before we jump into building VPS, we need to first understand the basic building blocks of networking in AWS. Things like IP addresses, subnets, and CIDR blocks. Once we understand this, setting up VPS will become very simple. Okay, so let's start with IP address. So, what is an IP address? So basically IP address stands for Internet Protocol. It is a simple unique number that identifies a device on a network. Okay. Think of it like address of your house. Just like a postal service needs your home address to deliver a letter, computer and server need an IP address to send and receive data. Okay. So there are main two versions of IP address. Okay. IPv4 and IPv IPv6. Okay. So IPv4 look like this, something like this. 92.168.0.1. Okay. It is made of four numbers separated by dots. Each number between 0 and 225. Okay. Uh, it will be between 0 and 255 each number. Okay. Then there is IPv6. So because we were running out of IPv4, we need a new IP. Okay, so we created IPv6, a newer version. It's look like this 90 2000 ABC, something like that. Okay, it goes longer. Okay, and then in IP addresses, there are two type of IP addresses. One is public IP and private IP. Sorry for my bad handwriting. So, public IP, this is assigned to you, your device, by your internet service provider, and it is visible on internet. For example, your home Wi-Fi router has a public IP, okay, and there is a private IP. So this is used inside your local network, like your laptop has an IP, your mobile has an different IP, and private IP is not directly accessible from internet. Okay, I'll show you an example. Suppose this is my computer. I'll type cmd and goes IP config. Okay, you'll see here's my private IP. This is my computer's private IP. And if I goes here, type public IP. What's my IP? Okay, so you'll see here. This is your public IP. Okay, so it works like that. Then let's move to next part. So CIDR blocks. So what is CIDR blocks? CIDR blocks is classless interdomain routing. Don't worry about the complicated name. It's a simple way to define how many IPs are available in a network. Okay. So in the earlier tutorial, uh, I've told you about each 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 block can range from 0 to 255. Okay. In bits, each block are 8 bits. Okay. So you may have seen this somewhere, 10.0.0.0.0/16. Okay. So CIDR blocks have two things. One, the network part, and the slash part, slash number. So the slash number tells us how many bits are used for network portion and the rest are used for host. Okay. So if suppose here it's written 16, then you can count these two, 8 and 8, 16. So these two blocks are fixed for network, and these two blocks we can use for our host to assign new IP. So we can assign like that 10.0.1.16, 10.0.2.16, or 17, 10.0.3.14. Okay, so these are the IPs we can use. So I hope you understand that what does this 16 means. It means if it is 16, then the first two blocks are fixed for network. We cannot change that, or we cannot use that. Okay, let's move to next example. Suppose if it is written 10.0.0.0/24. So what about now? We have 3, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. This will be, I think, 8, 8 3 24. So these four blocks are fixed for network. This block we can use for our host. Okay. So how many IPs we can, IPs we can like create from this? So it goes from 0 to 255. So 2 to the power 8, 256. Okay. Network first IP address and last IP address are broadcast address. So we left with 254 IPs. Okay. So it will goes like this: 10.0.0.1, till 255. Okay. The first address and the last address, the broadcast address. So we don't use those. We can use it. So we are left with 254 IPs. So I hope please understand. So CIDR defines how many IPs are available in a network. Slash number, smaller number means bigger network, and larger number means smaller network. Like if it is 8, then you have 3 blocks you can use for your network. 0, 0, 0, 10.1.0.0, 10.2.0.0, and goes like that 255. Then start from here 10.0.0. Okay, it will goes like that. Okay, now let's move to subnetting. So let's move to the next topic, subnets. Subnet. Subnet. Subnet is a simple network inside a large network. Okay, think it is of like a country. Okay, think it is like a country. So country is a network, and each state as a subnet. Okay, So country is divided into states, represent subnets, and subnets have IPs, which is the address of the houses in a state. Okay, I hope this is the simplest example I have ever explained. Okay, so think it is of country. The country represents the whole network, and the state represents the subnet, and each. So why do we need subnet? So instead of throwing all devices into a huge network, we divided them into a smaller group. Okay. Instead of using the complete network, we divided the network into a smaller group. Okay, like this the dev team, development team. This is the what we say marketing team, and this is the whatever other team uses this network. Okay, so it will improve security, keep the sensitive data within the team. Okay, we can keep the sensitive server in a private subnet and public facing server in a public subnet, and it also helps us to control traffic. Using subnet with routing, we can decide which device we can talk to each other or to internet. Okay, so finally we are here to our main topic, VPC. AWS VPC. So VPC stand for Virtual Private Cloud. Owning a private network inside AWS. It's a more secure way to manage our services instance. Okay, so think it is like that. The VPC in AWS is the country, the main network, and we create our subnets. Its subnet is subnets inside VPC, and we can use our subnets for our purpose, like for prod team, development team, private subnets, etc. Okay, so why do we need VPC? It helps to isolate your network in a private and separate from other AWS customers. You can decide the IP ranges, subnet and routing rules, security. You can also allow or block internet access and decide which server can talk to each other. And it helps to scale. You can add more subnet server and even connect your AWS VPC to your on-premises office networks. Okay. So how VPC works? When you create a VPC, you start by creating a CIDR blocks. In earlier tutorial, I have told you about that. Like it's something like that. Okay, that gives you IP ranges, address ranges. Suppose you have 16 here. These two blocks are fixed. You can use these two blocks. It will give you something like to 65,000 or something IP addresses. I think, yeah. So VPC is a private network in AWS. You can define the IP ranges using a CIDR block. Inside it, you can create subnet for organizations. You can control internet access. Okay, so let's get started with IP. Okay, VPC. Okay, so what is we are going to create? So let me draw you a diagram. So let's move to the practical part. So we will create a VPC. VPC my my VPC. Okay, then we'll create two routers. Routers basically route table. Yeah. So a route table in AWS is like a map or GPS for your network inside a VPC. It tells your resources like E2C is EC2 instance where to send the traffic depending on the destination IP. Okay. So, so we'll create two routes tables. First one we will private route table. Then we'll create public route table. It will send traffic to our public subnets, and this will send our traffic to our private subnets, and this will for our public subs. Okay, and then we'll attach an internet gateway here so we can use or access internet basically. Okay, so let's get started as it is a public route table, and we need here internet, so we'll use internet gateway to use internet outside or outside internet. Okay, so let's move to our practical. Let's go to our web pages where we are here. Okay, so first let's start and let's create a VPC. VPCs. This is our default VPC, Amazon's default VPC. So let's create our VPC. We'll name it my VPC. Then we have to declare our CIDR, as I have earlier told you guys about 10.10.0.0./16. So you'll see that. Yeah, this is it. Let's create our VPC. So see guys, it's so easy to create a VPC. Okay, let's move to our subnet section. Or first let's create our route table. So first we'll create our first public route table, public RT on our VPC. Create this is our public route table, and we'll create our private route table. Select our VPC, create the private route table. Let's go. So here our route table. Let's edit this. So change its name. Okay, let's create our internet gateway so we can use internet. So my gateway, create internet gateway. Okay, then let's move to our subnets. Then we'll create our subnets. So create subnets, my VPC, then my subnet. So what we are going to create one private sub, two private subnet, two public subnets. Okay, it's my private app subnet. What's the range should be? 10 dot plus 24. We'll get total 256 IPs. Create subnet. Here it is. And let's create a new subnet. It's your private port. So 0/24. Sorry, my bad. 10.0.20.1. So here we have our two private and prod subnet. Let's create our public subnets. Goes here. My public prod. Okay, I will have to select the magnetic zone. 0 dot 4 4 public subnet and 0 0 holding dot 0. That's 24. Okay, so we are done with our private public subnets. Okay, so let's edit this. Edit subnet setting. Enable auto assign IPs. Okay, so whenever we use this subnet, it assigns the instance IPs automatically. The public IPs. So here we are. Then let's go to our route table for public subnet associations. Let's add our public subnets to our public route table and our private subnets to our private route table. Okay, save associations. Okay, and finally we have to attach our internet gateway to our public so we can access our access internet. I think we have created internet gateway. Okay, so first we have to attach to our VPC, my bad. Let's go to our route table, then here, routes, edit our routes, here, then internet gateway, then here. So we have set up our complete VPC. So as you can see here, our private route table, then there are our private source, and this is our public route table, and it is connected with our internet gateway. So why we have created this route table and public route table and private route table different? So in future we need to provide access to my our private server for a while, not for always, for a while. So we can use this and then we can remove that. So it will be easy to maintain if we have separate route tables. Okay. So that's it from my sides, guys. Bye bye. Have fun. Take care and do practical.